We are 12 days away from the first drift event of the season, and the car doesn't even run. We spent the last few months building this BMW 335D M57 turbo diesel into our new drift car. So far, we've done a full manual swap, full wide-spread front and rear, a full black interior swap, and a bunch of maintenance to the engine. But we still have a long list of things to do before the car can even hit the track. Okay, so we have to get some stuff done in the driver area. I have to get the steering wheel fully torqued down. I need to get the airbag put back in so that we have that all set. The hydro handle, I need that to be up at a little bit more of an angle so that I'm not constantly running into the center console. So we have to get that taken care of. Both front seats need seatbelt receptacles since the front E90 stock seats, those were integrated into the seat. So I had to come up with a solution. So these are rear seatbelt receptacles out of another car. So we're going to get these attached to the bracket so that we can have seat belts fully up front. And then we're going to be working down in the footwell area. I have to get the accelerator pedal put back in. But before I do that, I have to get the clutch wiring finalized, get a couple of grounds, get a wire over to the lighting module. And then so that this car can pass tech, I also have to get my fire extinguisher mounted. So I have to slightly modify this mount that I had in here before to be able to work with these seat brackets so that I can grab this when I'm in the car. So we got to get this installed as well. All right, so we've gotten a lot done. We have some stuff on the interior, mainly the wiring is ran into the engine bay. So we had to finalize that over by the ECU, the DDE. That's a clutch wire to let the computer know the clutch is engaged so that it can start. And then we have a lot to do in this engine bay. We have an aluminum radiator that we need to install into here for better cooling. We have to hook up our auxiliary radiator from the factory. And then we need to run an external oil cooler and power steering cooler. This does have a factory power steering cooler, but I have one that's a little bit more capacity to be able to cool it a little bit better and have some more fluid in the system. So we have to run some custom lines from the pump to the rack and then out there, as well as from our oil cooler block off plate. We're going to be running that to the oil cooler up front. And then we do need to go kind of backwards before we can go forwards. In order to get those coolers in here, we're going to have to pull the front bumper off. So we're going to pull this front bumper. That'll also allow us to install our stepped intercooler that was on this car before, and then get all the intercooler piping lined up and installed. We do have the DDE back from my tuner. I sent that out to him to get some bench tuning. So we have a nice speed density tune on that. So we don't need a MAF sensor or anything. So that's going to be a nice tune that should work well on a car that's going to see a lot of track time, drifting with on and off throttle. And then we have some buttoning up otherwise to do in the engine bay. Get all the coolant lines finally fitted to the overflow, everything tidied up, finish up our cowl delete up top, or the M3 cowl that we have, and get that all finalized. Okay, so we're going to replace these intercooler screws that just screw into plastic, but somebody at some point replaced them with these lag screws that are mismatched. One side is flathead, one side's not. And they got these mismatched washers, and I don't know who would do that. So we're going to chuck those, and we're simply going to replace them with shinier versions. All right, so I wanted to go over some of the details of the coolers that I used up front and other cooling mods that we've done to this car. So we have a 30-row oil cooler up front that is running dash 10 lines, go to an external oil cooler plate that we've deleted the original oil cooler and put that plate there. So we have dash 10 coming there. And then we have a 19-row cooler for power steering. And then we have dash 8 lines coming from that and being ran to the factory power steering pump and the factory reservoir, and that works really well. We also have an aluminum CSF radiator in this car, along with the factory auxiliary radiator. There's a small radiator in front of the passenger front tire with ducting from the factory for these diesel cars. So we're going to utilize that to try and keep the engine nice and cool when we're on track. Other than that, it's pretty factory. Replacement coolant lines, some aluminum fittings where plastic likes to get brittle. Everything else is hooked up like factory intercooler piping, and then we threw on the intake that we had from before. Okay, so now we're underneath the car and we have a lot to do underneath here. None of the suspension is tightened down, so we need to get all of that tight. We also have the soft lines that go from our new brake lines, the hard lines, that are going to go to the foot pedal calipers as well as the hydro. We need to get that finalized. We were having an issue with the adapters to go from the M10 flare to the Dash 3, so we're going to figure that out, get some fluid in the diff, and then we need to work on the drive shaft. And before we can do that, even, we have the hydro coming through the floor, the hydro line, and I'm worried that it's going to run into the drive shaft. We have to figure out the clearance with that. So we're going to figure that out all while we're down here, and then hopefully get the drive shaft installed. We have a clutch line to install up front, and then we have our selector rod, or DSSR selector rod, that we have to, it's a DIY version, weld together. So we have to weld that together exactly where we need that. And then we have a couple other things. We have the headlight sensor figured out in the rear, but we need to figure it out up front, since WiseFab, it doesn't have a provision for that, understandably. So we have to make a bracket and attach that to the control arm, or at least hold the headlight sensor in the position that we want it to be in. We also have to adjust the ride height for the front and the rear. And then once we do that, we can adjust the shock length in the rear to make sure that we're properly within that stroke and get the most out of the rear suspension. Okay, so our biggest issue is down here underneath with the drive shaft. So once we got the DSSR all welded up, and we wanted to check clearance with the hydro line coming out of the floor with our previous setup, we put the drive shaft up here, slid it onto the splines of the differential, which has that weird spline with that collar nut that pulls the drive shaft into it, and we have our center support. And then over here at the transmission end, we have our output flange with this 3-bolt flange that would bolt up to a guibo and then bolt up to the drive shaft itself. Well, come to find out on these, either the GS6 in general, or at least these diesel ones, the 53DZ, they have a larger bolt pattern, 110 millimeters from BMW, versus the more common 105 millimeter that this car came with factory. So the drive shaft in guibo would not bolt up to this. It's 5 millimeters off. That presented a pretty good problem that I was not anticipating. So we are in the process right now of getting a custom drive shaft made. We are down to the wire, and most drive shaft shops want a week or more, and we only have days. So took a chance, and we have a plan right now. I went to the junkyard and I found a US car that did get the 110 millimeter guibo and flange, took part of that drive shaft, and I'm hoping that we can make one good drive shaft out of those two. Might also need a backup plan for that plan, because I really want to drive this car at the event. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't make it to the event this weekend, it will be at an event this season. There's many events this season, so this car will be on track. That's our biggest hurdle right now, is the drive shaft. Once we have that, this car is running and driving, and we can test and tune it. Really, the only other project that we have is the exhaust build. So we have to go from this flange, 3-inch, all the way out the back, custom exhaust build. That won't take that much time. We can build that without the drive shaft, so we're going to get that done. And then car needs alignment, and it's ready to go. So hopefully the next video, I'm holding a drive shaft that I can put in this car and drive it, because I really want to drive it. But took a chance. We'll see. Hopefully in the next video we have that and this car is driving. So tune in next time, and thanks for watching.